Here's Bitcoin halving of 2012, that horizontal line, the first Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin trading around $11 to $12. Around a year later, Bitcoin in the bull market that followed around $1,100, $1,200. We go over to 2016, the 2016 Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin trading around $600 to $700. A year later, Bitcoin trading around $2,500. And that was in the middle of the bull market. It kept going up to $20,000 around 500 or so days later after the Bitcoin halving. $20,000 from around $600 to $700. We go to the 2020 Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin around $9,000 or so. A year later, not even a year later, 300 some days later, Bitcoin over $60,000 in that last bull cycle. And Bitcoin halving just happened right now. All of this data that I am just very quickly showing you, pivotal to what I'm about to explain when it comes to altcoin season and the bull season that I think we are just getting ready to enter. This video sponsored by iTrustCapital. Thank you, iTrust, for sponsoring CCV. But iTrustCapital, their products play exactly into this data and this story that I'm just going to break down. And I want to just show you how powerful those products are if you're just a long-term investor, a long-term macro investor in the crypto space like me. So hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. It took probably a minute just to break down those data points. What happens from Bitcoin halving to the bull cycle high? And there are so many different indicators and so many different data points in crypto that we talk about on this channel. Many people follow on-chain metrics. But this very simple data, what happens in like the 12 months after Bitcoin halving, is probably the most simplest data to understand when it comes to crypto cycles. And I realize there's no guarantee that this will repeat, right? There's no guarantee. But I'll tell you one thing, doing these videos for over 6 years now, covering Bitcoin and crypto markets, the consistency of these cycles has been pretty on point. So I think it's worth paying attention to. iTrustCapital, I just saw this article they put out not long ago, this month, why investors move profits from Bitcoins to altcoins. You all know I track Bitcoin charts because it is such a strong roadmap for me in my crypto journey, but altcoins are a very big play in terms of even my longer term crypto plan. And this article that they wrote it's just so on point with my way of thinking. I wanted to cover a couple points that they made, and I want to look at it on the Bitcoin charts, and I want to discuss the power of these cycles and why I think approaching these cycles in a very long-term way is the best play. Why investors move profits from Bitcoin to altcoins. And that's the thing. I've talked about this quite often on my YouTube channel. The altcoin play, especially altcoin season, which I'm going to discuss in this video. And then I actually want to show you a couple examples of just buying crypto, which many of us do, and then buying crypto in an IRA for longer term thinkers. And I want to just show you just some benefits that are incredibly powerful. So here's the article, right? It's talking about why investors move profits from Bitcoin to altcoin. Altcoins offer an avenue to venture into crypto markets beyond just Bitcoin, as many of you know. Is altcoin season approaching? That is the question everybody is asking themselves. I truly think it is. We might be a ways away, weeks, maybe a couple of months even, but I want to show you what that looks like. But it's the power of that move and the way in which these cycles kind of trade that is approaching. And I think right now is the time to be prepared. One of the most attractive aspects of altcoins is its low price, allowing more investors to enter crypto markets with the potential for their investment to increase. Low price, low market cap, obviously lower market cap than Bitcoin. Notably, 2017, 2021 were landmark years for altcoins, with the crypto markets experiencing a bull run that propelled altcoins to new all-time highs. They're saying this, and this is truly what happened, and many people anticipating this once again. The question is, and this is something I've asked myself, how do I prepare for this, right? How do I prepare? And I'm still learning over these years because I'm getting still acclimated to these markets. And I've been doing these videos for over 6 years. So we're going to talk about one of the points they made. When you buy and sell crypto on exchange, you'll be subject to capital gains taxes. Whether you're interested in an IRA or not, an individual retirement account, you need to be aware of taxes. So capital gains taxes when making profits or trading crypto assets for another. And when I look at the zoomed out Bitcoin chart and I understand the cycles of crypto and I start getting a sense of, here's Bitcoin dominance, getting a sense of when altcoin season might be here, right here. It is so important to keep in mind nonstop for me, taxes, because it's just, if you're thinking about taking profits in crypto, you better be understanding of how much taxes you're going to owe when you're doing these things, because that just totally plays into the long-term aspect. So in terms of where we are, Bitcoin cycles, Bitcoin halving just happened. There is so much speculation what will happen in now the next 365 days, the next year. There's so much speculation whether or not we're entering a super cycle, whether or not we had an early bull run and it's over, what all-time high for Bitcoin will look like. And depending on where you fall with that, let's just assume, let's anticipate that Bitcoin does repeat. We can even say maybe it's just not as strong of a bull cycle in terms of gains, but Bitcoin, the cycle repeats and it goes higher, breaks all-time highs, maybe breaks $150,000. In that environment, are you ready for your long-term plan? That's the question. We look at Bitcoin dominance chart. This is where altcoins come into play. That iTrustCapital article comes into play. And then I want to look at potential scenarios, very simple scenarios. I use some very simple numbers to kind of show what is possible and what could play out. But going back to the Bitcoin dominance chart, the question is, if altcoin season is getting ready to approach, let's just say it takes a little bit of time. Bitcoin dominance here goes up a little bit higher. And finally, though, altcoin season approaches. And when that happens, Bitcoin dominance falls. You can just see here. Here's Bitcoin dominance falling. That's altcoin season post 2020 halving. Here's altcoin season post 2016 halving. If we get an altcoin season and altcoins are just seeing some awesome gains, right? And Bitcoin dominance is falling. This is the question I ask myself. What tool can I use to maximize that environment in which crypto is trading? Obviously, I'm going to have just kind of liquid crypto, liquid altcoins at my fingertips, ready to take gains in this altcoin season. But I want to show you something. This spreadsheet, very simple spreadsheet, buying crypto on an exchange and just holding crypto versus buying crypto in an IRA. I just took a very clean, simple number. Say you have $50,000, you're ready for altcoin season, $50,000. If we see 100% gains, right? $100,000. That's very realistic in a bull market, in crypto. And many people will be like, that's like not enough. But let's put that aside. 200% gains, $150,000 gains. 500%, still realistic in an altcoin market, $300,000 gains. 1,000%, $500,000 gains. So this is all an exchange. This is the reality in which most people, I would say, in crypto are just within, right? And in this scenario, you're going to have short-term capital gains of up to 37%. Really depends on your tax bracket and all that good stuff. But you're going to have these insane capital gains to keep in mind and play into your plan. Long-term capital gains, if you held longer, up to 20%. You need to keep these things in mind. But then you have this scenario, and this is truly, I think, for long-term people. You have a scenario in which you have crypto in an IRA. You bought crypto in an IRA, $50,000. Same exact gains, all of that, playing out the same, obviously, the portfolio growing the same. But then you have something called tax-free growth within your IRA. And then upon a retirement, tax-free withdrawals. You have just maximized that $50,000 and the gains found within these cycles. You've maximized that to its really fullest potential by sitting in an IRA. And this is a huge reason why the iTrust IRA, it's the best in crypto, in my opinion. It is such a good product to look at and consider if you are simply here long term. And the scenario that I just played on the screen is just a very simple example of why that is. Now, if we go back and we look at Bitcoin zoomed out on these charts, here's where things become pretty compelling to me. Let's say Bitcoin's entering the bull market and we see Bitcoin go all-time high. Let's see altcoins here's altcoin season happening, Bitcoin dominance falling, meaning altcoins are just seeing really solid gains. After that season's over, right? What now in terms of, say, an IRA portfolio? And this is what's intriguing to me. If we're anticipating altcoin season eventually coming to an end, and we might be entering a bear market of some sort, right? And Bitcoin dominance starts going up, it could make sense, and this is just my mind and how I'm thinking, to potentially move altcoin here to Bitcoin, right? Doing that within an IRA, like iTrustCapital, you're able to do that and make that pivot with those gains. So we're seeing altcoin season gains here as Bitcoin dominance falls. You can move those altcoin gains. Let's say you just saw, 500% gains on an altcoin. It's in the IRA. You want to move it to Bitcoin because Bitcoin does better in bear markets. You can do it tax-free. You just leveraged all of those gains in the iTrustCapital product. This is just one glimpse of why the product is so good, why they're so popular. They have a ton of customers in the crypto space. This is one glimpse. And they have everybody. They have gold. They have gold in there. But I really wanted to kind of touch on this article they did, bring in these charts into play, and just try and exemplify the power of the product. And this is a sign-up form. I'll put a link in the description. Use my CCV link. Get set up with them. A simple sign-up form. It takes minutes to get set up with them. And I just thank you, iTrust, for sponsoring CCV. Keep hustling. Keep doing your thing. Appreciate all of you do for the crypto space in offering these products. Appreciate all of you for watching. Hit the subscribe. Hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.